podcast show. I know it's been a minute, it's been a while since we've been able to meet up at this round table. You know what I'm saying? However, I have been expressing we've been dealing with a number of technical issues behind the scene. You know what I'm saying? So, really, don't blame us. You know what I'm saying? Just continue to support the show. You know what I'm saying? We're going to always show up for y'all when we can. You know what I mean? But, you know, trust and believe, man. We going extra hard. You know what I'm saying? Trying to correct this issue, this problem that's been ongoing, with this technical stuff, man. It's been a wild ride. You know what I'm saying? However, we gonna show up when we can for our people. You know what I'm saying? At this round table. So thank you all, those of y'all that choose to show up, pop out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's love and appreciation as always for all of y'all, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I want to get right to this issue real quick because I really ain't got that much time. I'm gonna keep this kind of short, but it's important to me. You know what I'm saying? Just like I know it's important to a whole bunch of other people, man, that really care about this issue. You know what I'm saying? And that is the introduction of K2 Spice into the California prison system. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know it's a lot of people out there in society, in the free world, that don't know how big of an issue that this thing is, man. But let me tell you like this. In the beginning, when it was first introduced into the prisons, you know what I'm saying? I remember somebody coming to me and he had these little strips of like paper, right? And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, this is the new, he described it as THC at the time, right? So I'm like, they putting THC on paper? He like, yeah, it's like a THC like type spray. So I'm like, damn, I had never heard of that. I was already leery when wax, THC wax had came into play, right? I remember me and the homie Big Mad Face with Lil Mad Face with A-Tray Gangster. We was sellies, and somebody had brought some of that to us, and we was like super like we because how they described how you had to smoke it, we thought it was some smoker type of shit. I'm gonna keep it real, you know what I'm saying? So we was real skeptical on the wax. So just imagine when somebody approach you and they got these strips, these little bitty strips of paper, and he's introducing it to you as THC strips, right? So I was extra, like leery about it. So I didn't deal with it at that time. So he's describing, he's like, look, all you got to do is put one of these in your mouth and it's gonna get you high as hell. So I'm like, that don't sound right. That don't sound like no THC that I ever heard of. So I didn't deal with it. So it wasn't as rampant at that time. Talking about spice, it wasn't as rampant at that time. This was like a couple of years back. So bam. However, I'm watching the news, and I'm seeing different cases of people smoking that stuff and flipping out, wigging out. I seen one story about this young white kid that smoked some of it, and then he went and unalived his mother and father, like literally like bit their face off and all kind of crazy graphic stuff, right? So, hearing stories like that, I was always cautious of K2 Spice. Now, bam, as the years went on, it was more and more introduced into the California prison system. And as it was being introduced more and more, you start seeing different cases of people wigging out, flipping out. You know what I mean? It became such a problem to the point where now you have a lot of dudes that is in the system that is completely against it. You hear about different cases of people smoking that stuff, man, and going crazy. For instance, like the dude Compton TG, the rapper out of Compton, right? He just had a situation, not to get into his business and none of that, but he just had a situation, I guess, to where he was smoking that stuff, wigged out, and it put him in a situation to where he ran into a couple of problems, physical problems, in the institution where he was housed at. You know what I'm saying? Now, what y'all got to understand is this, man. It's a lot of different type of drug paraphernalia that is introduced into the California prison system, right? You got black tar heroin, you got crystal meth, Of course, you got wax, weed, and the K2 spice. Now, the K2 spice is the cheapest. You get more, and it's the cheapest, right? And the high lasts probably for about an hour at the most, right? But it have you, it has been described to me, man, compared to Sherm, on the level of Sherm. If you know what in Sherm is, it's embalming fluid that they use on dead, well, unalive bodies. You know what I'm saying? At the mortuaries. You know what I'm saying? To help keep the body preserved and all this and that, right? So anybody that knows the effects of smoking Sherm, then put K2 spice on that same level as Sherm, because you've if you've seen people on it, then you know what the effects of that is, man. People wig out. You know what I'm saying? They do all kind of crazy stuff. They develop superhuman strength, and they just go crazy off of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So spice is on that same level. Now, just imagine you have an institution with thousands of people on 1 yard, but in each institution, in each prison, is probably about 10 yards with 1,000 people on each one of those yards. So imagine you having all these different incidents and issues with people that's getting high off of this stuff, and they doing some of the craziest things. They're wigging out, and it's such a problem to the point where, all right, I'm back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about the inconvenience. As I said before, we've been having technical issues, and those issues still exist. That's why I'm gonna try to make this fast and wrap it up. However, man, getting back to what I was saying, people that wig out off of that spice in prisons, you know what I'm saying? It don't just exist with the people that's smoking that stuff that's wigging out. The police will take it out on everybody because they get tired of having to, deal with these people, man, because you go and you find somebody that's high off of that stuff, you don't know how they're gonna react. I've seen people do some of the craziest stuff off that stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look. So comes down to the point of, you know, people don't care what you do. You know what I'm saying? If you are indulging in whatever drug, that's on you as a grown man. That's your decision. However, if it gets to the point where it's affecting the whole population, that's when it becomes the problem. And I've seen some of the supposedly hardest dudes, Crips and Bloods, Bay Areas, whatnot, get high off that stuff and wig out. Next thing you know what I'm saying? Hey, as it goes, if you cause the population problems, the population is gonna turn on you. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get boot bop and whooped. You're gonna get whooped real bad by about 2 to 3 people. It depends. You know what I'm saying? But they gonna whoop you real good and get you off their yard. You know what I mean? So if you haven't learned your lesson from that situation, you go to the next spot. You engage in that, it's liable to happen again. It really depends on how severe you wigged out at that last spot you just got whooped off of. Because if you wigged out and did some real serious stuff, when you get to that next spot, they gonna whoop you again. It ain't gonna be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? And that is the issue with spice being introduced into the California prison system. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't touch it. I don't deal with it. I really don't like for my homies to sell it, indulge in it. None of that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, to each his own. If you make the conscious decision to indulge in that, you better be able to control it. Because if you can't control it and you wig out, hey man, one strike and you out. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it got to be. You know what I mean? Because that brings on unwanted attention, you know what I'm saying, to the people that's around you. The people that actually have things that they might be got going on, you know what I'm saying? Positive stuff. And your negativity being indulging in that drug that's causing the unwanted attention to be shined up on you and others that's around you, that's a no-go. That's a bad look. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody above that law of discipline, if you choose to indulge in that and you wig out. You know what I'm saying? So I suggest nobody touch the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Really, it don't need to continue to be introduced into prisons. I understand dudes do what they got to do to hustle. You know what I'm saying? You might be trying to make money to feed your kids, you know what I'm saying, or take care of some of your family that might be doing bad in society. However, it's a gift and curse to everything. You know what I mean? Because you can be the person that's selling the stuff, and you sell it to this dude, and he wig out. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how that person that wig out is gonna respond. He can wig out and say your name, or I got it from Whoopie Whoop. You know what I'm saying? And not knowing because he's so high out of his mind. Saying, I just seen the other day, a blood dude that I used to see every day walk around like, you know what I'm saying? Young dude, was acting turned up, you know what I'm saying? Until the other day, he smoked that shit and he was inside his cell and he wigged out and you hear just screaming, just, you know what I mean? The police went by and, I guess they was doing their count. Bam, he was unresponsive. So if they are doing a security check and you're being unresponsive, it's their duty and obligation to make sure that you alive or whatever's going on with you, they need to know. So they're gonna push their panic button, which is gonna bring the attention of all the other staff and medical people over to your spot. Now all this light and attention is shined up on you. You know what I'm saying? And this was the situation that this young blood dude was in. And man, listen, when I tell you that he had the attention of everybody, he's screaming, ah, ah, like going crazy. You know what I'm saying? They had to physically restrain this dude, put him on the gurney and strap him in the motherfucker. And as they would say, he just, you know what I'm saying? He's going crazy. He's high off the K2 spice, right? So they hit me with Narcan. They hit me with all kind of stuff. They don't know, they have an idea what he's high off of, but they still hit me with the Narcan. They hit him with the Narcan. That makes the high even more intense because that's a different drug. Narcan is for heroin addicts to bring them back to life when they overdose. So just imagine that being mixed in with the K2 spice. Well, this is what the young blood dude was up under, right? Anyway, they take him out. He's gone a few hours, come back. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to explain himself to his homies and shit, but it's already written in stone. That very next day, they called him out and three dudes got on him. Boo bopped him, boo bopped him, boo bopped him, bad. And we don't see him no more. This is the same dude that was walking around turned up. You know what I'm saying? They always be turned up until they get that spice up in them. You feel me? Then that turned upness just get turned all the way down. And your career, everything is in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? And people now looking at you as a spig head. That's what they call it, spig. You know what I'm saying? So now you're known as the spig head homie. You feel me? So I just suggest to people, man, not to indulge in it. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad look on you, on the people that's around you. You know what I'm saying? People that you associate with, all that. It's a bad look. Point blank, period. You feel me? But that was just something that I wanted to bring to y'all, man. And I also wanted to let y'all know, you know what I'm saying, that again, we are working hard at trying to correct the technical issues that we've been dealing with, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes here at Swanglow. However, I encourage you all, man, all my subscribers, to continue to stand behind the show because we ain't going nowhere. We just dealing with some issues that we trying to get straightened out technically. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, and eventually we'll be back on and popping. I might start doing just random videos and just releasing them that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to always be able to go live. I'm not going to be able to go to the studio like that. Every blue moon, I might be able to do this, jump out there and do a live or something, man. But for the most part, I might just start doing just random little videos. But it be taking forever for them videos to upload. However, I want to get something to y'all and keep stay in your ear just to let you know that you're always being thought about. You know what I'm saying? Me and my beautiful woman Golden always be behind the scenes talking. She definitely missed the show as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? That's my sidekick, my ace coon boom, my best friend, my everything. Shout out to her. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you as soon as this live is over with. You know, but yeah, man, I'm about to get ready to get up out of here. I just wanted to bring that to y'all, man, to y'all attention. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all might got people that's incarcerated. You know what I mean? And they not always gonna let you know what's going on inside their life behind the walls. You know what I'm saying? But that spice is a real serious issue. You know what I'm saying? And really, the only thing that we can do is try to, stop, prevent people from indulging in the shit. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, those that's hustling. You know what I'm saying? Find a different way to hustle. You know what I mean? But until we figure it out, man, love your people, check on them, make sure they all right, make sure they in their right frame of mind, man. Because I've seen a lot of dudes get taken down by that drug. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. On that note, I'm finna let y'all get back to y'all day. Thank you all for tuning in. To those that catch this later on, you know what I'm saying? Much love to y'all. Shout out to everybody. Damu, I seen you on the last live that I tried to do. However, I was having audio issues. Much love to you. Much love to everybody. The whole Swanglow family, man. Love and appreciate you all, man. Continue to stand behind the show. And to those of y'all that choose to come to this round table and become new subscribers, love and appreciate you all, man. And to those of y'all that's just looking, if you haven't already did it, like, comment, and subscribe to the Swang Low Podcast Show. Do Rock Creek. Go check out some of them shorts I've been dropping. Got some real funny, hilarious stuff going on in the shorts. Until the next time I'm able to come to this round table and greet my people, y'all stay blessed out there. Love those that love you. Till the next time, love y'all, man. Triple gang.